You heard the rest. Now here's the best. Stay Tuned Sports Podcast.
And hello there, all you Stay Tuners. Welcome back to another episode of Stay Tuned Sports. It's your good friend Jimbo here, back again. After a very good New Year's, holiday weekend. Giants lost. Cowboys lost. The Eagles won. Ugly, but, Notre Dame sucked. They pulled a Atlanta Falcons there, being up by 24 or 21, whatever it was. But, I kind of, going into the game, I wasn't too sure of what to expect, being it's Marcus Freeman's first game coaching the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. But, I'm not ready to throw the towel in on them. I know some fans probably already are, but that's sports for you. That's why we like these sports teams. Gives us something else to complain about other than, stuff that might be going on in your life. I don't know. But before we get into the show, because we got a pretty good show, I think. We got NSRA guys. Stay Tuned Sports Truck Podcast series is back tomorrow night. So I'm going to do our 3 racers to watch for the chase. Talk a little bit about Arron Rodgers again, but a little bit differently than compared to last week. And have our hot minute take of who is the bigger diva. Now, am I talking sports, or am I talking music, or am I talking cartoons? I don't know. You just got to stick around and see which ones I'm talking about. But before we get there, if you all could do me a favor, head over to staytunedsports.net so you could click all of our social media accounts and like, share, subscribe. Make sure your notifications are on so that way you find out if we're doing a giveaway or whatnot, pops up on your phone and you're like, oh crap, that's right, I gotta follow them. Also, head over to www.buymeacoffee.com/stsports. Just another way to show your support if you want to do it that way. And don't forget, we have our chat line still up and running, 612-STS-CHAT. Pretty sure maybe one of you may call in for next week's show about your opinions about my Diva segment. Or even, maybe the Arron Rodgers topic that we're going to talk about. But before we get there, so like I said, the boys over at NSRA took 2 weeks off for the holidays, obviously, Christmas and New Year's. But they are back this Friday, 9 o'clock Eastern, over on YouTube, 3Y TV. Make sure you subscribe to them too as well. Peter Short and I believe Drew should be there, the commentators. This week kicks off the chase for the championship. And looking at the top 10 drivers that are involved in the chase, looks pretty good. I think it should be very, very competitive for these top 10 racers. And on top of that, they're back at Daytona tomorrow night. So, who made the chase? Excuse me, something stuck in my throat there. We have Jason Gracias, who is leading all drivers in the chase. John Canzero, Christopher Darling, Philip Scott, Justin White, Jeff Price, Jordan Scheffler, Ben Mashburn, Nathan Moore, and Travis White. Every one of those guys all year have been very competitive and always, either won some races, as the top, I believe 8 guys all have at least 1 win. Some have 3. And even the bottom 2, especially Nathan Moore, he was probably one of the more consistent ones. Didn't win a race this year, but I believe if he would have won a race, he would have went from like 8th up to like 5th or something, just based off his points. But he's not one that I think should be watched for his chase. And as far as my 3 racers to watch for this week, or throughout the whole, kick my printer, throughout the whole chase, obviously the first one, Jason Gracias. I mean, he has 3 wins on the season, has been very, very good all year, has 7 top 5, 9 top 10s, and that's the key. Like I feel, obviously you want to win, but as long as you could be consistent more than inconsistent, like every 2 races or so, you're a top 5. You're going to get those points, and it's going to help you push to the top to win the championship. And I think that's what he's shown all season long, is that not only can he win, but when he can't win, he's still a very competitive racer that always ends up in the top 5 there. Then I got Philip Scott, who just won a race a few weeks back that locked him into the chase. And if you asked, I think Garrett Gleason might have been one of them that said on the broadcast, he's definitely a racer that deserved to be in the chase because he was another consistent one, but could never break through to get that win. I mean, you look at his season, he has 8 top 5s and 8 top 10s. I mean, you can't get more consistent out of that through the first 13 races. So, Gracias may have had the wins, but Scott was a little more consistent than Gracias. And then this third one, I was torn. So maybe like the one that didn't make it, maybe he's my honorable mention. The one that made it here was John Cannizzaro. Another one that had 3 wins. Just him and Jason Gracias are the only ones that have 3 wins on the season out of 13 races. With also, like with him, he had 5 top 5 finishes and 8 top 10. So not as consistent as Philip and Gracias, but he's quick. My honorable mention was actually Chris Darling. He made it in. I believe he had 2 wins on the season, and I think he's second or third in points. But I think I kind of held back from making him my 3rd racer to watch, because the weeks when he just had bad luck or whatever, it was bad. Either he didn't finish a race or finished in the back of the pack. But he could be the wild card here. If he puts it all together and wins out the season, the rest of these races, he'll win the championship. So that's my 3 racers plus wild card to watch for this upcoming chase. So make sure you guys tune in tomorrow night, Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern time, over on YouTube, 3Y TV. Say hi in the chat. I'm always there. I'm always throwing out different questions or different topics during the race. And sometimes, Drew and Peter have some interesting topics to talk about during cautions and things like that. I tuned in this past Sunday night to watch the Packers versus the Minnesota Vikings, because obviously that game had some implications if Philly's going to make the playoffs, or they would have to go another week to find out if they'll make the playoffs or not. Philly needed Minnesota to lose to be able to clinch a playoff spot, because the 49ers won against the Texans, which I still don't understand that. So I wanted to see how it goes. And especially with Kirk Cousins being out, I knew our chances were a lot better. I wanted to see also how Green Bay would be playing. And Arron Rodgers just played, obviously, like Arron Rodgers, like MVP player that he's been playing this year. And after his 1 touchdown pass during the game, they put up the stat that he had, at that time, like 35 or 36 touchdowns thrown for the season, with only 4 interceptions for the season. And a little side note next to that was 2 of them were in the first game. of the season when they got blown out by New Orleans or someone like that. And I mean, I couldn't remember the last time a quarterback had such a great season like that. Like that, to throw only 4 interceptions during a season as a starter, it's just insane. So it got me thinking, what are some of the best quarterback performances ever in, NFL history? And where do I think Arron Rodgers' 2021-22 season ranks up among them? And I found this one article that ranked their top 10. They had like Tittle from the Giants from back in the day. Dan Marino was on there, his 84 season. Peyton Manning from 2013, just coming back from the injury, the serious neck injury that, was supposed to end his career. Tom Brady's and the New England Patriots undefeated season. So all these, popped up and I was reading. And where would I've put Arron Rodgers with this? Like, so if you compare Tom Brady's undefeated season to Arron Rodgers or Peyton Manning, I would probably still put Rodgers over those two guys. And I kind of have Arron Rodgers' season tied with this one as probably the greatest quarterback performance in the history of the NFL. The thing is, and I kind of brought it up last week, comparing Rodgers to Favre, was you look at Peyton Manning's 2013 season. Yes, the big storyline was coming back from the neck injury. How is he going to respond? Yeah, he'll have the smarts to be out there, but does he still have the strength and this and that? And Tom Brady. Tom Brady had Randy Moss. Throw it up there, get it. That's where Randy Moss made his money, his whole career. Plus, Patriots had a good defense. I believe like Ty Law was on that team. Rodney Harrison, I believe, was still on the team. Peyton Manning, in case you guys forgot, had Demaryius Thomas, no Sean Marino, who was having a good season at that time. Eric Decker, who's obviously not, a Demaryius Thomas or a number one receiver, but he was a good complimentary wide receiver. Pretty much like what I said last week. Who does Arron Rodgers have? I mean, yeah, Devontae Adams, who has over 1,700 yards receiving. But, okay, in the past couple weeks, Lazard has been coming on. But if you really look at the team, he still has, if you take Adams away, he still has average players. And usually average players, and we've seen it with, the Philadelphia Eagles, like Greg Ward and the practice squad team. When Carson Wentz was thrown, balls get dropped, balls get tipped up in the air for interceptions. Not Arron Rodgers. He makes sure that you're able to catch that ball. So, I mean, like, the season he's having, and if you try to compare it to Tom Brady this season, Tom Brady going back-to-back seasons with 40-plus passing touchdowns, that's impressive. It is. But again, he's on Tampa Bay that has Mike Evans, Godwin or Goodwin, even though he's out now with the torn ACL. And last year, before he went full-blown nuts, Antonio Brown. Which stories are coming out now that the story about the ankle being hurt is true. It's going to take a little side rant here. He screwed himself by leaving the field that way. If he would have just said, no, I'm not going in, and just sat on that bench the rest of the game, that's why you got a union. You go to your union rep and say, hey, these guys are trying to put me back in there when I'm hurt. I didn't feel safe doing it. But the way you acted, you lost all leverage of trying to win a case against them. So that's my little rant about that. So yeah, looking at over the years, the only other quarterback performance I would put up there is the 2019 season of Lamar Jackson. He only had 6 INTs. You know, you could say he was a check down guy that year, didn't really throw deep, but he still had 3,900 yards. Or I'm sorry, like I forget how many yards he had, but he had over 3,000 yards passing with 36 touchdowns. So I mean, he's pretty close to Rodgers with the touchdowns, but he also had 1,200 yards rushing. Now, the only reason why I say I have a hard time putting Rodgers as the number one best ever quarterback performance here is because of that 1,200 yards rushing. That makes it a whole different story. But this is also like comparing apples to oranges. Arron Rodgers is a pocket passer, and it might have even been in this game that they said that the new way going forward is you're going to see a lot more quarterbacks running to get the first down, more so than quarterbacks sitting in the pocket and trying to pass for the first down. But this season for Arron Rodgers is just outstanding. If he could finish this season, because well, they got the number one seed, so he may sit this coming week. But if he could, finish the season with four INTs, I don't know how they will be able to vote against not making him the MVP. Like he should be the MVP of the season. Tom Brady, it's impressive, but you have the players there. Arron Rodgers, he's only got one. So up next, we're going to talk our hot minute take here of divas. Now you're probably like, Jimbo, like, is this a boring segment? Should I just skip it? Is this about cartoon? No. This is about Antonio Brown and some moron tweeting out that he's just as big of a diva, or who's a bigger diva, AB or TO. And I had to laugh about it, but I figured this would be a good comparison. So who is the bigger diva? So, in case you've been living underneath the rock, AB ripped off his jerseys, his shirt, all that stuff, ran off the field, quit on the team basically, which got people thinking who's the bigger diva between T.O. and Antonio Brown. Reason why I say it's Antonio Brown is you look at everything, every single year, every single month, it's been something. Going back late into his Steelers career, started having problems with Big Ben, and I'm not even taking into consideration the problems off the field. That's just a whole different side. Problems with Big Ben, gets traded to the Raiders, lasts there a few months because he didn't like Mike Mayock. But if you look at, T.O., really all T.O. had was a problem at 49ers by using a homophobic slur towards Garcia and doing sit-ups on his front lawn over a contract dispute. Thought I could get that in a minute, but I guess I can't. So I'm just going to kind of go over time here. But if you really look at, T.O., he was eccentric. AB is just me with all his actions. And really, we shouldn't blame him. We shouldn't blame T.O. The person that really made Antonio Brown that way is Vontae Burfict. That's my true belief that hit made Antonio Brown this way. So we'll be right back after this quick break from our sponsor. Today's episode is brought to you by Pair. If you have a business, you need a website. What's the best way to get a website up and running? Choose a website hosting company that makes it simple, like Pair Networks. Pair has over 20 years of experience managing the entire digital ecosystem for thousands of online businesses all around the world. Pair makes it easy for you with do-it-yourself website building tools and features, including simple drag and drop page design. And they have guaranteed US-based support technicians ready to help you whenever you need it, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Right now, when you sign up with Pair Networks, you'll receive 1 free month of web hosting. See for yourself how easy it is to build your own free website. Visit pair.com/free to get your first month of website hosting for free by using the code QUICKSTART. That's pair.com/free, promo code QUICKSTART to get started today.
Fourth and 5. Jones steps up, takes off, he's in! Touchdown!
Third down and 3. Jackson has all day. Looking deep for Hollywood Brown again. He's got it! Brown off to the races! And he stays on his feet! Touchdown!
And here is your Blue Picks of the Week. Brought to you by Skunk Duck Studios, the best ducking designs on the web.
And that's right. So we are going into week 18, the first season that we have a 18th week. Last week, not a bad outing for me. I went 2-1. And surprisingly, the one pick that made it, or that didn't make it, I thought was a sure thing. And that was the Tampa Bay Bucks over the Jets. I picked them to be a blowout. We all know what happened to Antonio Brown. First half, just seemed like Tampa Bay couldn't get the defense just couldn't stop the Jets. Kept it close, and Brady in the end did what Brady did, making a comeback and winning 28-24. My lock pick was the Packers over Minnesota. I believe I took that before Cousins was rolled out due to the COVID protocol. But once that came out, that all but sealed the deal for a Packers win there. And then I took the Cardinals over the Cowboys. Cardinals won 25-22 at the very end there with a controversial delay a game that didn't get called. This is why Troy Aikman should not be calling Cowboy games. I mean, was it a delay game? Probably. But we've seen a lot of times that 0-0 would be sitting there for a second before the snap and then nothing gets called. When the play got snapped, Arizona got the first down and was able just to kneel out the clock. Whereas that delay game would have gave it another third down try stop for Dallas. But didn't happen. So go cry somewhere else, Dallas. But so on the season so far, 26-18. Hopefully I could finish out the season here on a good note. So for my blowout pick, I got the Bills, who are giving 16 over the Jets. I said 3 weeks ago, right before the Bills won the game, that I picked them. I believe it was a lock pick. It seemed like Bills' offense kind of stalled a little bit. Well, the past 3 weeks, they finally got that offense going. Defense has been doing good. And I don't think we're going to see a repeat of the Jets-Tampa Bay game. I think this game's going to be over by halftime. So I got the Bills over the Jets. My lock pick, I got Tennessee, who's giving 10 to the Texans. Tennessee's getting Derrick Henry back. Nothing else more to really say. Plus, the Texans' offense is just cannot get going at all this season. They're still averaging like 15 or 16 points a game. And when you factor in the fact of Derrick Henry being back, probably going to wear down that defense. So I think it's going to be a long day for the Texans. Then my upset pick is Pittsburgh over the Ravens. Pittsburgh is getting 5.5. both teams are still fighting for a playoff spot. Very slim, but they still have a chance. And I think with this possibly being Big Ben's last game, not only in a Pittsburgh uniform, but probably forever, probably calling it a career, I only could think this team is going to rally behind him and say, let's win one last one for him. Let's get to the playoffs. Let's really try to see how far we could go if we make the playoffs here. And I really believe in any team that has a player that the team buys into like that, good things come about it. Ravens are struggling. I mean, Pittsburgh struggled early in the season, kind of crawled back into it, but maybe a little too late, but never know. So I got Pittsburgh winning for my upset pick. So to recap, for week 18, I got the Bills over the Jets for my blowout pick, Tennessee over Texans for my lock, and Pittsburgh over Ravens for my upset. I'll still do the blue picks going into the playoffs because obviously you're still going to have some, upset picks to put in there, or maybe even some blowout picks. Philly against Green Bay. Obviously, I could take Green Bay to get blown out there. But it's been a really good season so far. Hopefully, this last week I could end on a good note with these picks, and hopefully you guys are doing good with your picks. Hopefully you're winning your millions. So you guys could head over to www.buymeacoffee.com/stsports to show your support. Give me $1 or so. I'm the little guy here. But so I think that's gonna be it for this week. Don't forget, tomorrow night, Stay Tuned Sports Podcast Truck Series is back, 9 p.m. on YouTube, 3Y TV. Come in the chat, say hi. Head over to staytunesports.net for all of our social media accounts. It's on the right hand side there. All our merch stuff is there. And don't forget, 612 STS chat. Tell me, who do you think is a bigger diva? Terrell Owens, Antonio Brown? Where do you put Arron Rodgers' season as best quarterback season ever on your list of Mount Rushmores, if you want to call it that? So till next week, this is your good friend Jimbo, signing out.